What's up, Response on Players? We're back with another weekly rendition of the Response on Play podcast. This week, we're at Disneyland talking to our boy, Bryan Garza, and how he did at Worlds. You'll notice that we do have a distinct lack of Steph and that other guy. So it's going to be the three of us, and I'm joined by
Andrew. Glad I'm not the other guy.
And Bryan. I'm the one being interviewed.
And I'm Jake as always. So we're going to kick this off and get right into it. Bryan, how was Worlds? Did you have fun?
Yes, it was a super fun event. It was really cool. Whirlwind of nerves and activity, but it was a great time.
A whirlwind of nerves and activity. Sounds kind of cringe. You had to go through the last chance qualifiers to get into Worlds. You did not get an invite to Worlds, correct?
Correct. I had to play on Friday to get in.
How did Friday go? Run me just brief synopsis.
Run you over?
Friday.
Okay.
Run me over with the tractor.
A tractor?
So I got there on Thursday. I'm hanging out in the main hotel. That's not the hotel I'm staying at. But I'm there at the event hotel. Everybody's playing games and practicing and stuff, and I'm just kind of like watching people play and kind of hanging out and being really nervous about Friday. And I've built my deck, and then I get back to the hotel room at around, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something like that. I order some dinner, some Chinese place. I don't remember the name. I'm eating my fried rice.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Watching Law and Order. Shout out, great show.
Classic.
And I go, my deck's not right. I don't know what's wrong with it, but there's something wrong with it. I have to change it. And so after going through and trying to figure out ways to change it for a little bit, I go to bed. I get to the event, and I'm just like, I hope I was right about my changes. We're told 8 people are getting in. Makes sense. 8 spots. So with that, we go and we had to play 7 rounds. And we're basically told 2 losses and you're out. That's the math on it, effectively.
Jeez.
Who did you play?
Who did I play?
Yeah, who did you end up playing for the last chance qualifiers?
I decided 2 weeks before to play Ghidorah on Evil.
Very good. Very good character.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you decided to play Ghidorah on Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Run me a little bit through like your couple rounds. I know one of those was on stream, and it actually coincided with my lunch break at work. So I actually got to watch you play on stream, which was pretty awesome.
I also got to see it. It was pretty exciting to actually see all of it happen live on stream. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, it's always nerve-wracking to be on stream, but it's really cool. I know a lot of people don't like to be on stream, because it like ups the nerves for them. But I like being on camera, so I don't mind. But that is what it is. That was much later in my run on Friday. I believe my first round was a Sasha Blouse Food Fanatic.
Classic.
I'd have to look and make sure that that's correct. And I'm not pulling up the receipts right this second.
He's got the receipts, but doesn't want to bring them up.
Well, I'd have to pull up the event and then look at who I fought and then look at the deck they submitted. Probably. I could tell you who they were easily. I don't know if I could even pull up the deck, technically.
No,
but everybody was really nice. Obviously, everybody was nervous. Of course, they're trying to get in. There was 83 of us, I believe.
83 for a qualifier or for a last chance?
Yeah, out of the 100 spots that were available.
That's
crazy.
I
think it was 83. It was either 83 or 93, but we were basically full up.
And this was the 8 spots to get into Worlds. Was that because 8 people from Worlds didn't attend, or is that just how many spots were still available overall?
My understanding is that was after basically after all the invites went out to all 64 people, that was everybody who did not accept the invite.
Okay.
And since they weren't doing pass downs, it all went to the tournament.
Right. Yeah.
And then there was also some like last minute questions because we know I'll get that when we get to the end of the day of the event. But there were some other things that were kind of going on behind the scenes that could have changed that number a little bit. I played, and I don't have a lot of practice on Ghidorah. I thought the character was really cool. I've seen it played. I've like seen good Ghidorah get played,
Yep.
but I hadn't actually played it myself.
Character's
But I
great.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, but I wanted to. I was like, this character's really cool. But I don't want to put the time into it yet. There's other characters I think are maybe better suited for the format we're in at those times, which probably wasn't true, or maybe it was true. Hard to say. Looking backwards, like maybe I could have just been playing Ghidorah this whole time and doing well at events.
Could also
But
put more time into Night Eye and done really well at events.
exactly, who knows? Like maybe Night Eye was cracked, and I just needed more practice.
I'm sure you annoyed a lot of your opponents at Nats, so you know there was a world.
Definitely a couple of them. But basically, I played those first 5 rounds, but the 5th round was on stream. I don't remember the gentleman's name. I just remember he was playing Devil Jin.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. I thought you were cooked during
Yeah,
that
I
game for a
saw-
minute, bro.
I saw the
Yeah.
freaking listed action. I was like, this is sick. And then saw a camouflage counter. Like, actually, that card's pretty cracked in Double Gen.
Yeah, I saw you
Yes,
take
it
game
is.
1, and then it got down to like the last 5 minutes in game 2, and I really thought he was going to get it for the draw, and was sitting there looking, and then you blocked with a 100% True Unleashed.
Yeah, the 100%.
Swole.
True
Yeah,
100%.
the true 100%.
Yeah, Swole Maximum.
Yeah, maximum swole.
Complete block, and it really saved you.
Yeah, I got lucky, and he didn't change the zone on the teaming with the Attack Titan. He had the option to, and so like when I got to block with it, like it was a full block. Because if I had been half blocked, I don't know if he plays another attack, I probably die.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We were definitely cheering you on.
And my whole Friday was basically like that. That match that was on stream basically encapsulates every single one of my
He
wins
played
on Friday.
7 Devil Jins.
Yes, I played 7 Devil Jins. Nobody else was in the tournament. Just 7. It was 82 Devil Jins and me. Yeah, but no, but like the to the wire, hey, I barely get to live, I get another turn, was pretty much the story of my whole run.
Nice.
Actually, I do have the trick this time.
Yeah.
I get to live.
It was super sick to just see the games in action. And also, I believe both those games against the Devil Jin, you killed him with Dragon of the Darkness Flame?
Yes, which was my last minute addition. It was my I need to figure out how to kill people outside of True 100 True 100% Unleashed, because I can't cheat that in late and make it as good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
As
kind of known
easily.
for playing that card. Like, you've been playing that card since it came out. Like, the amount of times I've played against you and you have that just in a deck, and I'm just like, why is this in the deck? And it kills me.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's like, why is this in the deck? Then you just get freaking Exodia obliterated, bro.
Resident Hiei main here.
Yeah, no, I do like that card a lot. It's got my boy Hiei on it.
Card's sick.
I was running in Hiei for a long time. Did pretty good with Hiei, but he was too much work. Like, it just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I need to put him back together and just take him to locals over and over and just be like, I have Hiei.
He is sick.
To him.
You just gotta show him what it's like.
Yeah, you just gotta pop out and show UVS players. But yeah, so you had a lot of down to the wire games. Like I said, you played. I at least got to watch one. Obviously, you played well enough. What did you end up placing on in the last chance qualifier?
Yeah, so they do the announcement. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna announce the top 8 winners." And I was thinking after my loss and my tie, and my win, to put me to 5-1-1, which my only loss was to JJ, Jacob Johnson. He's very good.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing
Very
an
good player.
He was playing an Elder to Girl list that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's an. I don't want to do this again. I don't
I
want to have to play that against that
I
again.
I am always excited to see Elder Dagoro lists out in the wild because that is a character I have always thought about putting back together since
Yeah, you're
I
an
played it.
ET stan.
He's so cool. Like it's
He is cool. I get it.
I really like what the character does, and ever since Vegas, I have contemplated many times of putting a deck back together for Elder Toguro and running it. But
And his version was cool and was like still trying to actually play the game, unlike the combo lists.
yeah, I
I mean, it was still like a combo-ish list. It kind of did the thing, and I think he had the option to do it.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
I didn't really like the combo list even when it was like there. I was like, okay, I mean, sure, it kills people, but that just seems kind of boring.
yeah, no, he was
Effective
still
and
trying to play the
wins,
game. It was
but
cool.
boring. Yeah.
But yeah, I won, and I was like, I'm getting eighth. Or actually, I was like, I'm gonna be unlucky. I'm gonna pull a James. I'm gonna get ninth.
Yikes.
Yeah, and then
Deep cut.
they name. Yeah, they start naming people, and they like. I don't remember who got first overall, but like they named first, and I was like, hey, I played that guy. I beat that guy. And they named him like second, and I was like, hey, I played that guy. I beat that guy.
Oh boy.
Hey. And then they named third, and I was like, hey, I played that guy. I tied with that guy. Like, I was just like, all the numbers before me were just like, I played that person. And then I got fifth.
Nice.
I believe, I think Tam got fourth
Tam.
in that, but I don't remember for sure. You'd have to look at his stuff.
Hmm.
I'm sure he talked about it. I believe he has a Worlds Recap video up. Go watch it.
You should go watch it
I'll go watch it right now and double check.
and double check and make sure that you should go watch it.
I'm a fact check him right now.
He's got the
yeah.
receipts.
But
Tam was
definitely
either
go-
right before me or right after me. I don't remember which. And then I was just like, oh, I made it. That's cool. Now I have to do it all again.
Mhm.
And technically we were told you could change decks. You could play whatever. The last chance qualifier did not matter for Worlds event. Like they were technically separate.
Okay.
So I could have played something else. However, I only brought one deck with me.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a choice. I was playing Ghidorah.
I mean, but also, like, why would you? I mean, why would you play a different deck at that point? You know?
Agreed. I mean, like I'm personally on the I'm playing it through the 3 days until it fails me, and right now it hasn't
and
failed
then
me.
he's going to
So
cast it into the fire, which that
back
deck has
into
now
the
been
into
that
the
deck
pit
has
from
now
whence
been
it came.
cast into the fire.
Nah, it did pretty good, so I'm gonna keep it around for now. Obviously, it loses some cards, and so it has to be changed a little bit. But
It's a good card, good character, good deck.
yeah, overall, it's still really
Disagree.
good. But yeah, funny story. I'm gonna steal some thunder from David Toombs, who I don't think has done a video about it yet, but maybe he has as of time of posting. I don't know what he'll have done, but I don't think he has. I usually get those in my timeline for YouTube and stuff.
Yes, we love Let's Talk UVS. Go watch
Yes,
him also.
let's talk VS. David ID'd his last round because he was told he would get in. And the math said he would get in as long as basically, I think it was 3 different people all didn't win. And then we all won.
Yikes.
And he got ninth.
Yikes. He
That
got
is
Jamesed.
Yeah, he
That
got
is-
James.
Which is really funny because they are eternal rivals.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But yeah, like I was one of them. It was me and I don't know the other 2. But basically, we all had to win. If any of us lost, he would be high enough that he would be in. His tiebreakers were better than our 3 opponents, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, that's cool. So he got in. The Double Gin made it in 2 Worlds as well that I played against. Because I think I was his only loss.
Nice. That's so cool. Devil Joe
Uh,
is such a sick character.
we did not play against each other in Worlds. I don't remember. I don't remember if he made it into top 32. I don't. Um,
So
I think he was unlucky and didn't make it into through day one of Worlds itself.
speaking of Day One of Worlds, before we get into that, let's round out your day 0.5 of Worlds.
Day zero.
Day 0 on the ground in the infection.
Jeez.
What how like what'd you do afterwards? Like how was everything leading into Worlds? Like give me the rundown.
So the threat down of like other stuff outside of the actual tournament.
Yeah, like just like run me through your evening.
Yeah,
I
did you
like
have
know
Mexican this time or?
I did
well
not.
like just in general, knowing that you're going into Worlds, like you get to play in top eight, you get to play in the 64-man Worlds.
So after the initial holy crap, I made it. Maybe I am actually good at this game, but where's the proof?
Whoa, slow down, champ.
Yeah, like, but where's the proof? uh, I I was like, okay, well, I gotta eat. I gotta I gotta calm down. I need to go to bed because we had to be there like 8 a.m. I think for deck checks. 8 or 8:30, something like that. Because we were starting like deck checks were gonna be not done by 9, and then we were gonna start at like 10 on the dot or something like that. We had to be early. Is basically what I remember. But UVS actually fed all the world's players Friday night.
Oh, that's sick.
Very
Yeah,
nice
they
of them. Shout outs to UVS. Love
yeah,
those guys.
UBS games. They had basically a 64-man banquet at the hall, like where we were, which they had originally talked about getting it to be somewhere else, but then turns out trying to make a 70-person-ish reservation on Valentine's Day was impossible.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valentine's Day here was also like that. We had to settle for off topic by a mile, but yeah, reservations on Valentine's Day are crazy. Like
Yeah,
everywhere
totally.
we called 12 different restaurants, and they were all hour and a half, 2 hour waits. We finally found one that was like, I guess, a little underbooked because they weren't taking like reservations, so they only had like a 20-minute wait. So
Jeez.
Not bad, not bad. Where was it?
it was called Bricktown Brewery.
Oh, I love Bricktown Brewery. Bricktown Brewery is banger place.
Yeah,
I've
there's
seen
a
it
couple
around.
different. Yeah, there's a couple different spots around town, but
Yeah,
yeah,
started in Oklahoma City.
yeah, that's why it's called Bricktown. Yeah, because
True.
Bricktown and
Yeah,
Oklahoma
because of
City.
Bricktown.
But also enough on that.
Sorry.
Let's
So I hung out with the UVS employees and ate dinner.
hate that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I hung out with Guile, talked with Josh, talked with Bryan, who does like the tech and took all the photographs.
Yeah.
Like it was a good time.
Wait, you're Bryan.
Different Bryan.
Probably Bryan
Bryan
with an
that-
I.
Yes, spelt with an I, and also works for UVS games. But yeah, we chatted with all of them. Then I went back to the hotel. I was like, I gotta go to bed. Looked at my list and was like, is there any last minute changes I should make? Because I'm allowed to change it. And the answer was, I don't want to think about it. I'm just gonna run it.
Mhm.
We're just gonna run it back. And then I watched Law and Order SVU
Oh, classic.
for a couple of hours and then went to bed.
Classic.
Shout outs.
Shout outs to Law and Order SVU, also a banger show.
This
We
episode,
also-
nothing but shout outs.
Yeah, this is shout out city, baby. Also, if they want us on an episode of SVU, call our
All us.
So you go in. How are you feeling day one of Worlds? Like give me your morning. Like I want to know how you felt. Like down to the shaking of your little fingernails.
Well, my fingernails shook a lot. I was feeling pretty nervous. I luckily wasn't feeling very tired. I went to bed at a good hour. Like I went to bed at like 11 or something like that, and then got up at 7. And I was like, I got a full night's sleep. I'm so smart.
Sheesh. Bragging about it.
Yeah, I know, it probably helped.
Bragging about it helped.
No, sleeping. Sleeping probably helped. Getting a full night's sleep probably was
Bragging
very
about
helpful.
getting sleep helped.
Yeah, and then I bragged about it too, I'm sure, during the event. But yeah, I was really nervous. I went and I don't remember who my first opponent was, but we knew that we had to get top half. Had to get top 32 of the 64 to go the next day.
So was the first day of Worlds, it was typical like best of 3, it wasn't single elim? Or
Correct. It was just basically round robin. It was basically just Swiss. It
okay.
was just a 64-man Swiss tournament. And those standings would determine our basically our placements going into Worlds on who would go first and such
Okay.
in the elim tournament. And I don't remember who I played round 1. Round 2, I know I drew. I didn't win. I didn't lose. It was a Sasha Blouse food fanatic. I'm pretty sure.
Good character.
Sasha very strong.
Yeah, it was a very cool list, and we basically beat each other up, and then didn't have enough time for a game 3 after that happened. We only had like 5 minutes after the 2 games,
Wild.
and so yeah, like the first one went pretty quick, and then the second one was just kind of long, and yeah, it happens, no big deal. And then round 3, I'm pretty sure it was round 3. No, sorry, it was round 3. I won, and then round 4 I played. I guess it was round 3. Round 3 I played Keenan Meadows, who was playing a Ymir list with recuperation time. That card's messed up. It's kind of not okay in multiples. It was pretty wild. Like seeing what he did, like got to do when he had like 2 or 3 on board. Are you both familiar with the card?
Recuperation time?
Yeah.
I unfortunately am not.
Okay, no big deal.
No, go ahead and explain to me,
Okay, I'll mansplain it to you right now.
please.
So recuperation time.
Canceled. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. Bryan Garza.
Mansplaining and bragged about good night's sleep? Cuff him.
He's out of here. No longer coming to a tournament near you. Bryan Garza canceled.
Yeah, he
At
got me.
Disneyland, got him.
So recuperation time is a 3-diff life attuned card that says respond after you gain health. This attack gets +1 or -1 damage.
Hell yeah.
And of course, Ymir, all about gaining life.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah, and then using things like best buddies or brief respite.
Yep. Just
To
a bunch of life
heal
gain.
on the opponent's turn, let
Yep.
them to minus out the damage on that attack.
Yep.
It was very cool, but really hard to play through when he had in game 2 he had like 3 of them, and I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to play through like -3/+3 damage every time he presses a button. And the answer was replay. Well, actually, the final answer was I didn't. I got killed in game 2 of it, and I had to beat him in game 3. But the answer was basically play Togoro's dominance as much as I could and go respond with them, and I will blow them up.
Card's really good.
Card is very good in Ghidorah, who gets to replay it for basically free.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It did a lot of work. It was a last-minute addition as well. I was like, I need a way to do something about cards I don't want to see on my opponent's board.
Okay.
And it answered the majority of them.
I was gonna say
in a clean way.
I was gonna say because when we were doing testing, you like were playing it, but you weren't like so sure about it.
Yeah, I was like, this is probably right, but I don't know. And then I was just like, yeah, this has to be right. This is like, I just had to focus that I want to use it. Yeah, I'm like, I just need to prioritize that it's important.
Yeah.
And probably steal it and grab it, just like I would pretty much all those like gain damage and gain speeds and minus damage, minus speed foundations. And like this piece, very important as well. I should put one on board as many times as I can. If I can't kill them, I should build it.
Agreed.
So that they hopefully can't kill me. But I was able to get Keenan. It was very close. It was basically down to time, but I was able to get it. And then my round 4, I played one of the Akikambara guys. I wish I could remember his name, but he was playing Byakko.
Ooh.
And that was cool. Very scary. Definitely, I was like, oh, these are all for heads. I gotta protect myself. I was able to get it out in 3, and that one went to overtime. Like I was turn 2, and I had to kill him. Like I had to draw to kill him, and I remember I was like, well, let me draw the hand because we could tie, but I might be able to win. Let's see if I can win. I've got like 3 minutes, and I drew 2 attacks, and I was like, these 2 attacks don't do it by themselves. The attack I need to see is Dragon of the Darkness Flame. I'm like, but both of these attacks, it was a Sword of the Darkness Flame and a Vile Seizing.
Neither of those kill people,
But they both draw cards.
which is very important.
And I was like, well, I'll play Vile and see if he lets me draw a card. He let me draw the card. I think he checked a 3, and he was like, yeah, I'm not paying that much to stop a card draw. And I was able to hit him for, I think I had +1 damage on board. I hit him for like 7. I played the, and I drew a foundation. And then I played the Sword of the Darkness Flame, stun and drew it. If I hadn't drawn it there, my plan was to minus the speed and play. I had 1 combined firepower in my discard pile. And I was like, well, if I mill 5 more, if it shows up in those, I can play it from there. I haven't used my character. But I will, if I don't draw it, that's the option. That's how I have to do it. But I did end up drawing it, and I was able to play it. It was unfailable, and it was unblockable because it was going to be like an 8-speed move, and he had like 2 foundations.
Yeah. Nothing feels so satisfying when you draw the 2 check off the top of your deck instead of checking it.
Yeah, and it was
I could
the
have
only
checked
one there.
this, but I didn't.
But I didn't, suckers. That made me 4-1 at the time. And then I was just like, well, I have 2 more rounds. I technically could ID them if my opponent wants to ID, assuming that they want to. And also kind of depending on what table I get placed at. If I'm placed at a high table, yeah, IDing's probably fine. It doesn't matter, right? I'll probably have a pretty high placing. If I am placed at like table 12 or 13, that's not as safe, right? An ID brings me down some, and then maybe I end up like not making it in because somebody goes, hey, I have to play this one if I get paired down or something. So after that match, I sit down at table 1. That's where I got to sign. I got signed table 1 versus Tam Cardwell.
Oh boy.
And he's like, "Hey, do you want to ID?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to have to think about this game if I don't have to." Like the less I have to think about it mentally, the fresher I'll feel tomorrow. So we ID. He took a picture. I'm sure he posted it on the video he made. I think he did that for all of those.
You took a picture with the Tam Cardwell?
Yeah, we're shaking hands and everything.
Yo, he still hasn't seen a podcast.
Yeah, that guy has never watched our podcast. Fun fact.
That's true. At least as of the Friday or the Thursday, that was true. Because he said I was still waiting for an invite, and I was like, "Have you watched an episode?" And he said, "I didn't know there was a prerequisite."
Yeah, absolutely. There's a prerequisite. You have to watch 1 episode of the podcast.
The first episode he's gonna watch is the one
So
he's in.
one person, if you've seen one episode of the podcast, get in touch with us. We can have you on.
We'll probably put you on. But yeah,
Cool,
so so I ID'd with Tam, and then last round I was like, well, I'll probably end up. I didn't think I'd go to table 1. I was assuming I'd be at like table. I had played at like table 4, I think it was 3 or 4, and I was like, I bet I'm at the same table to ID. I probably will sit at this table and ID twice. That didn't end up happening. Obviously, I moved to table 1, and then I was at table 2 on my last round versus because we ID'd as well. Tim Keefe.
Oh wow.
Yo, Tim Keefe. That guy's also pretty cool.
He is very cool, very good at the game.
He has definitely won a couple events.
Yes, definitely at least a
one.
couple.
At least a couple. One of them might be Worlds.
He didn't win this world though.
Damn.
Spoilers.
Damn.
But he is extremely good at the game. Yeah, so that was that one. We got told, hey, we're not getting fed again. You have to get your own food.
Get schlumped.
Yeah. So, I went with some of the other people that were competing over to a kebab place. I think it was Abdo's. That was like across the street. It was pretty good. And then went back to the hotel, watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and then went to bed.
Very specific.
All right.
That's not the right movie. But yeah, it was really cool. I placed 4th overall in the Swiss.
Nice. So you got top 32 at Worlds. Confirmed.
Correct. I was at worst the 32nd best player in that room at that point.
Heck yeah. Nice. But soon, things would take a turn for the worst. Bryan forgot he had feet.
What?
I don't know what that means.
I also don't know what that means.
I'm not sure I get this one. I don't get this intro.
I don't get this one either, actually.
Looks down. Are my feet there?
So
Bryan forgot he had to play the game.
Bryan forgot to play the game, so the game played him.
Kinda.
Oh man.
So you got to day 2 at Worlds, which fantastic. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Very good accolade. Glad to say that I talk to you on a weekly basis on a podcast 3 people listen to.
Excuse me, like 5 people listen to our podcast on average.
Nice.
And I know it because 5 people at Worlds were like, hey, you sound familiar, or hey, you look familiar. And
Did you have your ninja scarf?
No, I didn't.
Did you have your funny little mustache?
I did not. The reason I would look familiar is because of the Universus one, because I have a camera for that.
That or the interviews from Nats.
Yeah, or the interview from Nats, etc. But they were just like, are you with Response on Play? Like, you're on a YouTube thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on Response on Play. And they're like, oh yeah, there was but there was multiple people who were like, oh yeah, you guys are really good, or I like to listen to your stuff, etc.
Which
we got some overseas fans, which I was like, I think I really appreciate it. Yeah. Everybody was really nice, which is good. If they had mean critiques to say, I would have cried.
I'm crying thinking about it, actually.
But yeah, thank you guys
of the mean critiques they could have had.
Thank you guys for checking out the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of you, we appreciate
all
you.
2 of you. Yeah.
But yeah, so we go into final day of Worlds. Mm-hmm. You wake up, you've got your feet. How run me through this one, because I know where this story ends, but for the listeners at home.
So I get there and basically go through deck check again, which I skipped this part technically. We did deck check for day 1 of Worlds, obviously. And there I think it was Ryan Fields was head judge, and he was the one who was doing my deck check, if I remember correctly. If I was wrong, I'm sorry. And he was going through the app and looking through all the cards, and then he got to I was running 2 Life of Dangers, and he looks at him, and then he looks at the list, and he goes, "I don't see these in here."
Nope.
And I was just like, I'm 99% sure I added them, but if they're not in there, I'll take them out." Like, well, it turns out it put them at like the bottom because they were one of the last 2 cards I added. And the list he had was basically in like chronological edit order. And so they were like after the attacks, before the actions kind of thing. It was really weird.
Weird.
Yeah, but basically like the 8 cards I added at the end, which those 2 were part of, were basically at the very end of it. Gave me a heart attack for a minute. I was like, "Oh god, have I been playing an illegal deck this whole time?"
Yeah, I mean that's
Because I just
worst feeling.
moved it over from the other thing because I didn't change it from the last chance. But they were able to find it. I was like, "Oh, thank God." So we do deck check again. We're just kind of sitting there hanging out. I go and grab some breakfast because there was a Starbucks. Like, it wasn't attached to the venue, but it was inside the parking lot of the venue, basically.
Hmm.
So I just walked over there and got something. Come back. Sorry, because I apparently have a bad memory. I remember what he played, but I cannot remember his name for the life of me. But I played against an Aerodon.
Oh.
Yeah, and that list was cool. That list was very spicy.
I do love me the air symbol.
Yeah, it was very dope.
No, you don't.
It basically wanted to do the cool stuff to basically print extra speed stuff on Fudge and Flurry. Just over and over, just print a bunch of momentum and then spend it on something.
Yep.
Typically walk the dog or something like that.
Makes sense.
It was really cool. It was a really cool list. Because of the way my deck was built and the way I kind of had to play the game, he was able to kind of aggro me out and beat me. Mostly, Fajin should have been pretty blockable for like other tricks and like true 100% as a trick to save myself, things like that. But because I had to spend multiple turns kind of just setting up and trying to be safe, he was able to build vertical maneuvering
Oh.
and then use it to kind of like change the zone, do these things, and make it so I couldn't easily block that card. I couldn't no longer cleanly block it. And then, of course, it's for 7 or 8 damage or etc., depending on if you got any responses or anything on it. That let it be basically for a head by itself and effectively uncontestable. And a lot of my game plan over the first 2 days were, if they're playing attacks that don't get damage, I'm allowed to kind of just ignore them unless they have a big damage number on the bottom, like as base. I try to minus some of that damage with Relentless Challengers. And when they go for the head, I mean, you saw this in the Devil Jin matchup, kind of. It'd be things like, okay, I'll let this one hit me because it doesn't take the head. I'll block this one. I'll block this one, or I'll half block this one, and kind of make it force you to overextend to get the prize that you were after, which is getting rid of one of the heads.
Hercules would be proud.
And because of how his was built, he was able to kind of like punish my playstyle into it. There was a really funny set of events in game 2. I realized, I definitely have to, if I see a Togura's Dominance, it needs to be on the board, and it has to answer specifically vertical maneuvering. He gets one change, I have to get rid of it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn 1, I build 4. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter what 4 they were. None of them were Togura's Dominance. But I do check one during that time.
Which Wikidora just means I can just have access to that now.
Exactly. I'll build it next time. He builds 4 or 5 cards, one of which is the vertical maneuvering. And I'm like, okay, cool. I play an attack so I can steal in Takuro's dominance. I build a couple. And I'm like, all right, he gets 1. If he activates it at any time, I get to get rid of it. And then he plays Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken and freezes and commits it. Fair enough. I don't blame him. He knew that that was the plan. Like, it was very obvious that that should have been my plan. It was the best card of his that I was allowed to blow up. So he freezes and commits it, and then I block out for that turn. We go to my turn again. During that blockout, I checked the other Taguro's dominance.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So I play like 2 attacks. I exile my card and say, hey, I'm going to build this other Taguro's dominance. And of course, it's unique, so I'm like, I'll just blow up the one that's committed.
Mm-hmm.
I play it, it goes down, and then his first attack is Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken.
No.
And he freezes it again.
Oh.
I got fair enough. So we do that. I'm not able to block everything, so he gets a momentum. And then we go through my turn, and I do it again. I'm like, I'm gonna have a ready.
Taguro's dominance.
I'm gonna have a ready Taguro's dominance. Stop that. And then he plays another Fast Hybrid Chimera Kraken to open up his turn and freezes it. And I'm like, all right, fair enough, man. And so then I give up. I'm just like, all right, fine, man. I'll just wait the extra turn and blow it up after. Which wasn't the right call. I think I was supposed to just battle it again and go, hey, man, do you have your 4th one?
Yeah.
Because there's only one more you're allowed to have, right?
Yeah.
Like, play it. Show me the card. And then fair enough, man. Like, if you get all 4 of them, you did it. Like, what am I supposed to do about it?
You do it a 5th time, and it's like, now you can't answer it.
But also, like every time I played it, it had to be the answer, so everything else I got to keep up, right? Like, which was useful to me. So there was reasons beyond just, like, needing to try and blow that up. But also needing to answer VME was, like, really important to that match.
Yeah.
Because it's what won him both of those games. Was me not being able to answer it cleanly or just not answering it cleanly when I should have.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was able to get that, which was, like I said, it was a really cool list. It did a lot of cool things. And then he went and he played the stream match for top 16 and got soundly beat by Marvin Emery on Pony. Marvin Emery was like, I'm gonna beat you up. That's what you get. You're not allowed to have 21 health in this format unless you could do the things I'm allowed to do.
Check out my horns.
Okay, check out my horn counters. Watch me play 10 attacks.
Now watch
and
me
obviously,
and watch
and then watch me nay nay.
Yeah,
yeah.
That too.
But yeah, like it's really cool. He ended up losing that match really quick. It was like a 25-minute match or something like that. It was very fast, and it sucks, obviously. Like, it sucks for him, obviously, because I was rooting for him. After I lost, I was like, all right, I want you to win.
Do it.
Because if I lost to the guy who wins it all, I don't feel bad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't feel bad about losing to number 1. I mean, you can't.
Unfortunately, you didn't lose to Kevin Broberg. You
Spoilers.
But no, that's it. He lost. He's out.
Yeah, I'm out.
There's no more spoilers.
But yeah, from there.
Also, that happened last week.
Yeah, also that was a week ago.
Yeah.
At this point.
And
what if somebody didn't watch it?
Exactly.
I didn't watch it.
Exactly.
So, Bryan, where'd you end up finishing at Worlds?
So after it was all said and done and everything shook out, I got 18th place overall.
Which is pretty big. Like, even
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
18th at Worlds, nothing to scoff at. There are people that didn't even make it in.
I mean, yeah, everybody else on my team didn't make it in.
Okay, well,
all right.
Done talking to this guy. So anyway, Andrew, how was your weekend last weekend? Did you have fun?
No, I freaking cried about it.
Yeah, I had a great time too. Anyway, how does it feel, Brian, to get 18th at Worlds and still not be the team captain?
Actually, I'm a little salty about it.
Yeah,
Like,
well, you know the
I'm gonna get
rules.
on my Instagram. I'm gonna complain to the board. Like,
Yeah,
it's
well,
gonna be crazy.
It's gonna
I
be
am the
May.
Senate.
I'm gonna talk to the commissioner.
Talk to the commissioner.
Commissioner Gordon.
Tell him I said
Well,
hi.
not that. Well, maybe his last name's Gordon. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to the head of.
So you
the head of all
placed
teams.
one place behind Tamron?
Cardwell. Yeah, he got
Cardwell?
17th.
Tam!
To be fair to Tam, and like this is very important. One, he was also playing really well because he also had the last chance qualify with me.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
He was also on a tear, which was really cool. And then he, I believe, was number 1 seed of Swiss.
Wow.
I believe he was first seed.
Heck yeah.
And so therefore he was the only person that could have been in front of me that I think lost their seed. Basically, like they basically lost in 32. So it makes sense. The math's there. It maths. But if I had done better,
Wouldn't it do be mathing though?
if I had done better, I could have been better than Tam Cardwell.
Yeah, unfortunately you didn't. Womp womp.
I know.
So
But that's okay.
How do you feel the meta? Do you feel like the meta is going to be kind of the same going into Denver, or like as we look ahead towards the next event? I know you and I are going to be at Denver.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyone listening to this, definitely check us out. We'll be in Denver. Expect for me to come shove a microphone in your face like I usually do when you see me at events, and probably lose out like I also often do at these events.
And I might do the same. I might lose out day 1 and just like do whatever day 2. Who knows?
Who knows? So, do you think that the meta is going to kind of stay the same? Do you think there's going to be a big impact with the critical role set? What do you think? Since you were boots on the ground, middle of the meta.
So, I do think that we're going to see a bit of a shakeup, but the reason for that shakeup is kind of it's not. I mean, I guess it is because crit roll is coming out. But basically, it's because sets 2 and 3 are also rotating.
07.
Yeah, 07 to a bunch of cards that
I've been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, are pretty much staples in deck building on their symbols.
New
that
training
are no longer...
method, you will be missed.
Basic training, easily excited.
Yeah, basic training, he's excited. A bunch of those cards are going to be
struggling
gone, right?
with studies.
Oh, don't even get me started.
That's a great card. I'd love to see some kind of reprint.
Ice gliding.
Oh yeah,
Ice
Glide too. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, there's so many good cards. I was just looking at Hawks the other day and was like, my boy, look what they've done to you, my boy.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Exactly. But so that is a big part of it, and obviously that's because crit roll's coming out. But also, I think a lot of people are excited for crit roll, and want to play the cool new thing, which is all the crit roll characters, right? Like any of them are cool new things. And so because of that, I do think we're going to see kind of a shakeup of people wanting to try and run those. So I think you'll see them maybe overrepresented, maybe, into like what's probably still just good. Like my Ghidorah list loses 3 cards in total. Like I could find another 0 and another 1 diff or a 2 diff and move on with my life and have the same block mods and ratios and
like
or you could get ratioed because your block mods are different, and I could throw it off the side of a boat.
You could, Mr. Weevil. But yeah, I do think that I think we're gonna see a good representation of the new characters because people are excited about new characters.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's kind of always true in our game, though.
Yeah,
like even when we weren't particularly hype, like say AOT 1, you and I still ended up playing an AOT 1 character.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I'm still looking at playing that same character.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I
that's what I'm
like
saying.
destroying things and punching stuff in the face.
Like, I could still see, characters like Ymir still being in it. Godzilla's probably still in it.
Ghidorah.
Ghidorah could definitely still be in it. He did not lose that much, which is why I'm like, oh, he's still probably good at what he does.
Yeah,
What he
it's like
does is pretty good.
yeah, with Crimson Rampage and Heroes Clash like rotating, and also people wanting to see more of the crit roll and like see what the characters can offer for the competitive scene. There are still gonna be these characters that aren't really going anywhere. Like we already talked, Ymir, Ghidorah, Godzilla. Like these characters are still gonna be relevant to the meta.
And then of course we have a bunch of cool new characters. Like we have those, but we also have the 2 champion cards, right?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm not hype on Nick Reagan's card. Nick Reagan's really cool. The person.
Nick Reagan, very nice. I
Very
played
nice,
against
very
him
cool
in
guy.
played against him in Vegas last year. I learned a lot. Super cool guy to play against.
Yeah, very, very cool. Loves this game a lot. His character card, I read it and went, I don't want to run a deck that should be the size of a commander deck. No offense to you, Nick Reagan. That's the only reason I probably won't ever play your card.
I will probably never play your card because it'd be really weird to sit down across from him and be like, "Oh, I'm playing
Nick
you."
Reagan.
Which
I
one
would
of
love
us
to.
is the better Nick Reagan?
I would love to do that to Mitchell Chimino once because I think his card is cool.
Oh, his character card is
pretty
bonkers.
broken.
It's
bro.
pretty wild. It's pretty crazy. I remember reading it and being like, these aren't going to be legal, right? This is crazy.
No, it's standard legal.
Yep.
They better hope that I never get a character card because
Oh, yeah?
there's only one of 2 things that'll happen if I ever get a character card. One, it'll have to be accompanied by an asset that is Andrew. It'll be named Chuck.
Sure.
Or I will make Bryan Garza.
Yeah, there was a. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll let you do that. I heard a little bit of back talk about like backroom talking about Mitch Chimina's, where his original art that he wanted had a bunch of other people in it, and they're like, you can't have that. Like, it has to be you and just you.
That is kind of lame because, well, I mean, to be fair, if it's got me in it, it kind of also has Andrew in it because we're like the same person.
Yeah, but it couldn't be then called Bryan Garza.
Well, why can't it be me, a picture of me, and named Bryan Garza?
I assume. I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure they have a very good one. But
Well,
anyway,
joke's on them. Their rules can't stop me. I can't read.
And it says it on his
Very
character
true.
card.
Okay, but talking about character cards, what would your character do? And what would its symbols be?
Well, my character, if I ever got to make one, would probably do something with cheating attacks or picking up attacks or something. I like playing a lot of attacks usually, or it would have to be a stun character that commits kind of like Toga does on attack play. And my symbols would probably be good because I played that symbol so much in AOT set 1. Deku 1, big ups. I like discarding my whole hand for a bunch of damage to potentially kill my opponent. Pretty sick. So I'd probably do like good, life, and then order.
Okay. And then something like some kind of stun thing, or
Yeah, it would have to be like some kind of stun thing,
or some kind of buyback thing.
Yeah, or like a buyback for my attacks or something, or like picking them up out of the card pool or something. Because I think that's pretty awesome, and I like playing a lot of attacks. That's why like when twisting went away and my ability to play Aaron and play like 300 attacks on my kill turn like kind of went away. I was just like, Now I'm kind of sad because not only do I get to blow up the stages, which is also something else I like to do. Not only do I get to do that, but I can't play all these attacks.
Okay. And then same question to you, Andrew. What would your character do? And what would its symbols be? Like, what do you think? What would you think you would put on a character card for yourself?
I know for sure the symbols would just be air, water, and probably order, because I've always had a bit of a soft spot for the order symbol. When I really got into playing this game was the first MHA set. I mean, I played it a little bit with Cowboy Bebop and Yu Yu Hakusho, but I didn't like really play the game until MHA 1, because that's when like our local scene and everything started to blow up at the time. And my first deck was Tenya Ito 1 on order, and I loved playing that character, especially specifically on that symbol. So I have a soft spot for the order symbol. So for sure the symbols would be air, order, water. Because air, water, also two of my favorite symbols, if not my two symbols. Like I love those symbols a lot. As for what I would do, I honestly don't really know, because there's so many like bits and pieces that I like to do with certain characters. I like Elder Dagoro being able to switch stats. I also like the overhaul thing of being able to play things from my stage. I like clearing the carpool, which is what Air likes to do. I am pretty, like, me as a player, I'm very mid-range or defensive. Like that's just the play style I like to play. So
And maybe some speed hate on face.
yeah,
Or some other
I
defensive
mean,
ability on face.
I would definitely see like some speed hate on face being something, but overall, I never really thought about it. So,
Well, start thinking about it. You're on a team that's trying to win.
Oh shoot!
Oh, oof, oof.
But
I can any of that.
I can say with confidence that my symbols would be air, order, water.
Sure, that's fair. That's fair. For me personally, for my money, my symbols would be death, earth, evil. I love those symbols. I think they're really cool. I've played them to varying degrees of success, but I enjoy them a lot. I'm a big casual death enjoyer. And then evil actually got me somewhere, obviously. So like, gotta respect what it did for me. And yeah, I would probably cheat like evil likes to cheat. Steal something from my discard pile, or do the Ochako thing of picking it back up and replaying a card. Because I loved Ochako too. That ability was so cool. But I don't know. Some weird gimmick like the health thing for Ghidorah could be cool. I don't know
heads,
exactly.
It's a beard counter. Like every
he grows his beard, and once he gets too old, he dies.
Oh, the end from Snake Eater.
Yeah, something like that. But basically, like, I like manipulating speed. I think that's really cool to be able to add or remove speed and choose to block things. I'd probably be some kind of like high health 6-hander or 5-hander with a big ability, because I like those kinds of characters. And then I don't know, I'd do something hopefully cool that someone else would be like, "Oh, I want to play that. That sounds dope." What it would be, don't know. I'd probably have to look at every character that's ever been printed and be like, "What can I steal from an old character? That sounds really cool."
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of where I am at. It's like, I know my symbols for sure, but as for words, no real idea.
And then also I have to stay within the symbol identities, right?
Yeah.
So like, could do a cool thing where you like, I don't know, like I remove to pick something up, or to like target flip a foundation, like remove from my discard pile or something, or remove from the top of the deck kind of thing. That could be cool. That's evil and earth stuff. And like, or death, I could destroy it. I could maybe do, that'd be a kind of cool ability. I don't know what the exact cost would be, but like removing a card to like target flip, or they can respond, destroy anything. Like they can cancel it by destroying anything. Could be kind of cool. And now we'll sit here in silence.
Sit here in silence for set 2 and set 3 of MHA.
Yeah. We're gonna give it 1 minute of silence starting now.
And
so much for silence.
Will always love you.
Wow. Anyway,
so much for silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really one for silence.
Clearly.
But we were talking about earlier, like characters we think will like the what we think the meta like shift will be. I think we're gonna see Grogs. I would not be surprised to see Mollymocks.
I think Allura could actually
I
sneak her
wouldn't be
way through.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Shoto 4 or 2.
Yeah, same. Allura, I agree. I'm bouncing back and forth between trying to play Yasha because she's cool. I think Vax is really good. I think a lot of people are high on Vax. There was a lot of talk about Vax being cool.
I mean, hand destruction's
at
pretty
Worlds.
crazy.
Yeah, the hand destruction effect, the plus X or minus X speed, basically not playing on progressive.
I think it's plus X damage or speed.
Yeah, it's plus X damage or minus X speed.
Yes.
But basically blocking not on progressive by just saying enhance. I'll block and then enhance I -1, which is the card that I put in. Let me play my other things and block. It's really cool, right? Like that's a really good way to like try and live.
Also, you can just play cards that don't like kick themselves out of the card pool, like actions and stuff, and just go, all right, now I'll play this thing. All right, now -2 speed.
Yeah, I'm like respond, like give it to 2 speed and then kick something, things like that. On death, he's allowed to kick stuff and also cheat things like combine firepower in, like things that don't count to progressive.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep.
There's a lot of cool ideas there. Mollymock is also really cool. I think this character is neat. He's also on my short list of like, building him might be worth it. He's got good symbols. I think he can do a lot of cool things. And the ceiling / destroying stuff I think is really cool. I know there will be well, I say I know there will be one Keyleth. I don't know if Chris Smith is going to be at Denver, but if he is, he'll be playing Keyleth. No questions. He's like, this is who I'm playing for the whole year.
If I see someone playing Keyleth, I will walk up and I will rip their card in half.
Wow.
That's really hardcore. That's really wild to do.
Actually, I wouldn't do that, but that doesn't.
Dude, imagine just walking up to someone and just being like, "Oh wow, you're playing Keyleth? 1 second," and you just pull a Seto Kaiba and just rip the card in front of them.
Just imagine, sit down, see Keyleth, rip it in half. Judge, my opponent ripped my character in half. Counterpoint, Judge, my opponent doesn't have a character.
I do
a
also
legal
think,
one anyway.
Objection! My opponent doesn't have a starting character.
I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw Nick or Mitchell being played at the event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that we'd see them. I wouldn't be totally surprised though if we saw them.
No, especially because Mitchell's card is pretty sick, actually.
Yeah, Mitchell's card does a lot. It's so crazy. And then Nick Reagan's is really cool. Like it does a lot of cool things, but man, it's what like removing it is just so much. It's like it's such a steep cost to me that I was like, I don't know how I could ever do this. But yeah, like obviously I think the other cards are cool. I wouldn't be surprised to see a majority of the crit roll characters show up. Just because they're the cool new thing, and everybody wants to play with the cool new thing.
Agreed.
True.
And it seems like everybody's really excited for it. So I'm like, overall, I think a lot of people will play it, assuming they get it in time. It's very last minute and it's very close to each other. Like I'm worried that I won't have my stuff in time. Hopefully I will, obviously, but like and hopefully I have it, and then I get to play what I want, and I get to basically bounce between 2 or 3 decks and go, I don't know which of these is the best, but I want to play one of them.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, obviously I ordered some as well. Hopefully it'll be here in time. So that's pretty rad. I think that it being a week after the set releases is going to be pretty tight. Like I feel like there'll be people that'll be like committed to playing the new characters that are like us that test a lot. and everything. But even so, like it's like James was talking about the other day. If you don't end up pulling what you need, you're not ordering cards. Like the chances of them getting there are very low unless you order them from Rochester and they happen to have them, and you can pick
I
them up at the
mean,
event.
and like Rochester will be at the event along with 2 new stores, I believe, that are
Cool.
local to Denver. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. If I am, put it in the comments. Talk about how wrong I was, and also put the right information down there.
And also point and laugh at him.
Yes, laugh emojis, point emojis, all the extra stuff.
Poo emojis,
Yeah. Hit me with the poo
Okay.
emoji.
No need to make a mess in the comment section.
But yeah, so I know there's supposed to be like 2 or 3 vendors, and right, obviously with that's like that's all really cool, and I hopefully would have access to that between the 3 of them, something like that, because you'll probably have some people who got stuff that they're not playing and are like, I'm just gonna 1 week after the event, man, it's pretty easy to turn over my stuff for money, right? If it's not what I want to play.
True.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing is like for us, I mean, we should have the cards like between you, me, James, and Steph that are going and have ordered cards already.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, like I know James and Steph are question mark. Obviously, I don't know if they're gonna be with us. I hope they are. I'd love for basically all of us to be there, because I want us to all hang out every time.
true.
But obviously, if something comes up and they're not able to, and they're not sure at this moment if they're gonna get to, um, like, yeah, they'll have the stuff, and you might be able to grab it from them for me to borrow or for you to borrow. And of course, I'll have my stuff. And then, of course, I'll order my extra stuff from my winnings, um, which I won't have anytime soon. As far as I know, it won't be for a while.
What do you mean?
I believe so, because of the LA Fire stuff. They didn't have enough of the product to just give out top 32 down pricing, like the boxes and stuff. So I probably already have it, if I go through my emails, but maybe not. They might not have sent it yet. Um, I don't think they have, at least as time of recording. We'll get basically a voucher saying I can redeem for what my pricing would have been for top 32. I would have to look and double check what that was. But I believe it's definitely at least a box.
Yo, can you hold on to it and redeem it for a different set?
No, I think I have to redeem it as the set that we just got,
Yeah.
which is fine. I don't mind that. Let me see. Oh, those are cute.
But yeah, as far as all that goes, also, everything seemed pretty lit. World seemed like it was a lot of fun. Sad I couldn't be there. Hopefully, we will make a big attempt to be at the first worlds for the new play program stuff.
Hmm.
I'm kind of excited to see what all the events have in store. We've been seeing some of the cool promos and all that stuff for Denver, so I'm excited to go and kind of get my first regional of the new season in.
Hmm.
And I look forward to hopefully not doing terrible.
Same mood.
Also, same. I would love to make a day 2 again. Feels like I don't make day 2 for regionals, and I'd like to show that this wasn't a random fluke. Maybe I could show that I'm actually pretty okay at this game.
Well,
Not
you
that it
know
doesn't
what?
change. Like sometimes good players just don't make it, and I'm like, huh, I'm surprised they didn't make it.
I definitely would have something to prove because I feel like I can be good at this game, but my indecisiveness
Yeah, bites
kind
you in
of
the butt.
it cripples me a bit.
And I think that's going to do it for this episode of Response on Play. Thank you guys so much for listening, as always. We've actually almost hit a subscriber goal. we're almost at 100 subscribers, and we're hoping if we can hit 100 subscribers, we can do something really cool for the community. So if you would hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, comment down below all the cool stuff that every YouTuber asks you to do. It would greatly help us out. But for this week, I've been Jake. Andrew, get off my shoes.
Andrew. No.
And I'm Bryan. I'm the other guy?